Otherwise, they'll be sitting in the sun for hours.
Visually, can we move on? Definitely. Let's move it over. Here, I'm going to use this area for interviews. So this beautiful rock and this beautiful thing. But right now, if we go wide,
makes sense.
Thank you. Push the bottom, it's going to open up.
Shall I move this?
Where do you want it?
No, she's going to no, not there. Over the second over there. I'll move it later. We'll use that. Right by that little niche. That's right. Good. Thank you.
That night was like there was a whole big the entire like world of swag goes.
I know interludes, the jacuzzi interludes. Just record us like hanging out in the jacuzzi, just talking.
Fully blessed, hi.
Really? Wow. Here, let me come and top here's the mic. You could take it off the stand if you want. Hold it gingerly, and everything you say is going to be live. So let me know when you guys are ready.
Okay, 110.
So is everybody out here from inside? And you're all finding your seats and your chairs and getting comfortable? Rupert, am I ready?
Action.
Okay, everybody, find your seats and welcome, welcome to my very favorite event probably of my life. Maybe the elephants and the animals that Mary writes. But Sam is definitely first right after elephants in my favorites. So I just want to tell you a couple minutes while you're finding your seats that the way I met Sam was for me an absolute miracle because my body was a mess and I was in a lot of pain, and I sat up in that balcony for almost a year talking to my, now I call him my Jewish boyfriend, Jesus, who said, I came that your joy might be full. And I thought, God, that's not the religion I was raised in. What is going on? So I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what was going on because my body was in so much pain. And now I've decided that the reason was I got so politically involved for 4 years with things I didn't like, I didn't agree with. I was angry. And then some cop shot a black kid, a teenager, unarmed, in a store. He was just shopping, and I lost it. I went literally berserk, and I thought, okay, we have thrown away our humanity. We are wasted. We have destroyed the human race. We are greedy and violent and racist, and I really went crazy. So sitting up there, I gave God his choice. He had one of two choices. He could either extinct the entire human race and do it quickly before we destroyed trees, elephants, animals, and whales, and the oceans, or he had to change the mind of the human species. He had to take us back into love and get out of greed and out of our insanity. And I meant it. I really meant it. Now, let me tell you, it was one day later, not two, that my darling friend for years and years, Robert Slaughter, who's here somewhere, and he's just one of my favorite people in the world, and he called me and says, I'm in New York. Whatever you're doing, stop doing it, because I want you to talk to my friend on the phone. Oh, okay, I'll do as I'm told, if it's Robert telling me, And so I end up talking to this Sam Beard person. Well, I'm likely to do that because Jackie Kennedy Onassis was one of my all-time favorite people in the world. I'm not as nearly impressed with the 8 United States presidents that Sam worked with, so that part wasn't as exciting. But I have to say he is the only person I've ever known that has worked with 8 United States presidents. So I found time to talk on the phone to this man. And what I heard him saying that you're going to hear about today from 0 to 5 is what I call changing the mind of the human species. When we start when the kids are babies and they're little, and we read to them and sing to them and make them feel special and loved, and it does something with their brain that he can explain better than I can. But for me, it was an absolute miracle that the God I had just finished giving him his choice between one of 2 pretty different and pretty important issues. I really felt that strong about it. And all of a sudden, here it was in my lap that somebody was talking the same language, that he was going to change the mind of the human species if all of us get together, if all of us start working on a call to action on what do I have to give? What can you give? Who can give what? Now, I don't have a name like Buffett that anybody cares about. But I have something else to give because I know her, I know you, I know amazing people around the world, around the country. I have some wonderful phone numbers. And I think I have something to give. I can do something. I can say, hey, you guys, let's figure out what we each have to give and then give it. And that's what I'm here to hear about. That's what I want all of us to think about and say, let's see, what do I have to give and what do I want to be part of? And that we literally, starting right here today, are starting to change the world. We're starting a whole different way of starting to help each other's children. And there's a lot of school teachers here. I call today has very little to do with quantity. This is not a quantity audience. This is a quality audience. And you have no idea who you're sitting beside or in front of, but there's some amazing people here that I just, oh boy, there's some of you guys, I've been watching you for years. And I used to say, if I'm ever going to grow up, could I please grow up and be like her or like whatever? Well, that's going to be Diana Bench. There's just so many of you that I honor and respect and think you're amazing. And one of them I'm going to turn over right now. You can have this, Brett. Brett Lechtenberg just finished a wonderful weekend in Utah with Sam, and he helped us put this together, and I'm just so thrilled to know you and meet you, Brett. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you. Let's give Toddy a big round of applause. Woo! Well, thank you everybody for being here today. We got an amazing event. Move over? Oh, sorry. The rug is the mark. I'll make it. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here for this incredible event. I'm not going to be speaking long, for just enough to interview Sam or to introduce Sam, and then we're going to be coming back to talk with some of you. If you don't know who Sam is, he is someone that has created some incredible things in American history. He created, with Jackie Kennedy Onassis, he created the Jefferson Awards, which became America's Nobel Prize for Public Service. with, he also created the Presidential Student Service Awards. And the incredible thing is he started his career back with Bobby Kennedy in Brooklyn, New York. An amazing career, a 50-year career that went on and worked with 8 presidents, created 6 initiatives that are still in active and working today, even though he does not run them all anymore. He has assigned those to really great people. And the things that he has done has impacted 50 million lives with each of those 6 initiatives. I know you can do the math on that, right? And generated trillions of dollars through our economy to help people and generate income through the United States. So let's give him a big round of applause, Mr. Sam Beard.
I'm just supposed to sit here, right? Or can I stand and talk here? Can anybody hear me? Yes. Excellent. When we came here before, there was a 50-mile-an-hour wind, and I don't think I said anything right or wrong, but no one could hear me. So then, actually a lot of people heard me, and the first thing I want to do is just stop and say how great Toddy is. And I have a gift for you later. And if Toddy said that the universe and God sent me to her, the reverse of that story is also true. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to say almost nothing, but just set the tone about the power of 0 to 5. But fundamentally, each of you has flyers, and Toddy said first Toddy told me, she sent out a thing that Sam was going to talk today. And someone called and said, I heard him, I'm not coming. And now, I could take that 2 or 3 ways. But the answer is I'm not here to make a speech. I'm here to make this a call to action. And why am I saying that? Because Toddy told me to. Toddy said enough people have heard you, and you're not here to make a speech, you're here to make a call to action. So we have created a champion. If we say we're in a position to start something around the world, to reverse poverty around the world, and to improve education around the world, and elevate human behavior around the world, if you think you would spend 10 hours to help us and talk to 10 people, anything simple, you're going to sign up and give us your email and your cell phone, and then you will officially be a Gift Connect champion. Then if you want to do something more than that, we're going to call you an ambassador. Now, 2 ambassador supremes are Lynn Crandall's back there, and then Toddy. So we gave them a fancy title. They are founding ambassadors. And then the idea is, this is grassroots. So if each of you agree to pull together little committees like this, group, to organize things anywhere, we're eager to have that. And so that's about half my speech, just telling us what we're here about. And after that, already with Toddy and people we've met, it's a call to action. So we have about 8 people, and we have a cowbell. Do we have a cowbell, Sandon?
I'll just hold up my hand.
No, it's no good. You got to make some noise. The point is, people have 5 minutes. If they're on the beginning of the 6th minute, bong, you're out of there. Because some people, like me, say it's 3 minutes, and 6 minutes later I'm still talking. So I need my own cowbell. But the point is, people can talk about how excited they are to bring things around the world and how to do it, just to give everybody an example. Now, let me talk about what is to be excited about. And I heard from George Halverson, who ran Kaiser Permanente, and he's one of the top scientists in the world and one of the top health workers in the whole world. And here was the message, and I could not get it out of my head, and that's what we're after. A baby is born, and they now know that billions of synapses start connecting. Billions. 1 million a second. It actually starts in the womb. But when the baby's born, the baby needs to be spoken to, sung to, or read to 30 million words by the 3rd birthday. 1, 2, 3. And what they now know from a science viewpoint, your cognitive capacity is 80% set, 7 to 80% set by the 3rd birthday. And that is your capacity to succeed in school. And if you miss it, it's very hard to catch up. So here's what all the scientists agree. You start up here with maximum creativity, maximum capability, maximum brain capacity. And it swoops down for the first 3 years. Age 4 is important, age 5 is important. At that point, so much is set, and for the most part, after that, you cannot catch up. Pause, stop. After that, for the most part, it's very hard to catch up. Now, in school, they teach you subjects and things, but this is the capacity to absorb that. So if you've missed the first 5 years, you're not going to do well in school. If you do not do well in school, you're not going to do well in your career. You have these great dreams, but for the most part, it's hard to fulfill those dreams. Once I heard that, I cannot get it out of my head. And if I have had the fun of doing 6 things, which each has impacted now 50 million people, let's do something big. And here we are. So that is the point. And with that, I'll stop. Because now what we want to do is sign you up. That's it. And you don't have to, but I do cry easily. and if you don't want to help us, I just will roll up a little ball and just start uncontrollably weeping. So I'll do it if you don't sign up, but you don't have to. And so, Josie, go ahead.
Sam, can I ask you a question? Can you briefly talk about what you've just spent the last 3 days doing in Utah? Is it connected to this?
Sure, I'll tell you, but briefly, but my time is up, and then someone's going to pour hot molten lava on me. But we wanted to test market what we were saying and see how it worked in a community, and we went to Utah. Why do we go to Utah? Because Brett Lechtenberg, who's our global director, and Sandra Nixon is our global director, and Bill Schuffenauer is our global director, and Brett knows everybody in Utah. So we figured if we go there, will they like us? And will they multiply what we're doing? And the answer was absolutely. It was just joyous. Fundamentally, what we're saying is, in the United States, the United States Congress commits $500, less than $500 a year for the first 5 years, which happens to be the most important. Now when you get into school, we commit $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 per kid. But if you've missed 0 to 5, in Delaware, and this is pretty much across the country, this message is, save our babies. If you don't do 0 to 5, about 1/3 of American children, I'll over-dramatically say this, are down the toilet in their capacity. And it's horrible. So now fundamentally, there's a whole grassroots beginning to change that funding cycle. And we came out of, if you go into a new community, people say you're an outsider and you're probably a bad guy. And then Sandon points out, what is an outsider? It's someone with a coat and a tie on who says they come from Washington. And that's sort of like the beginning of the end. But we came there, and all the people working on 0 to 5, they know that they have $1 and they should have $20. They know they have $1,000, they should have $20,000. So they're welcoming the fact that we're going across the country to change those numbers. So we got a smashing success. And here with Toddy and with Lynn and with other people around, we're going to have a smashing success here. And this is one of 20 communities. We just start with that. Now I want to go back to Brett. You're going to come up with Sandon and Bill, and the whole point is, I'm going to wander around and be ready to cry if you don't sign up. And they're going to explain, what does it mean to be a champion? What does it mean to be an ambassador? And they'll answer your questions and like that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Check, check. Hello, my name's Johnny Cash. So, anyway, thank you very much. We're excited to have you out here with us today and talking about 0 to 5 and how we're working to create a movement of 0 to 5 throughout the country. You know, Sam started in Delaware, made that the first mindfulness state, and we're working with Delaware on this movement. We went to Utah, was hugely received, as you can, well received, as Sam said. We're here now in Los Angeles and in California, working on the same type of activities. And I wanted to take just a minute before we kind of explain the 3-tier process that we have that we're replicating from Sam's previous successes. I wanted to introduce our team real quick. So immediately to my left is Mr. Sandon Nixon. Sandon's worked with Sam for over 20 years. Sandon specifically was a national director for the President Youth Services Awards. He was also a national director for the Jefferson Awards. He created thousands of media partners and events and things that happen throughout the country with those activities, and he's now a global director for GIFT and a founding board member for GIFT. So he's going to talk in just a minute. And to my far left is Mr. Bill Schiffenauer. If you watch HBO, Bill was just featured on Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel last month, in the month of March. Bill's a 3-time Olympian, Olympic silver medalist, and since he's fulfilled his Olympic career, he's then spent his professional career helping grow nonprofits and helping them achieve funding and working with them in the community, setting up all kinds of different events. And he's now on board with GIFT, helping us raise funds and create a global movement similar to what was created with the Olympic movement. And we're tapping into his expertise for things like that. So I would like to bring up, first off, Mr. Sandon Nixon.
Thank you, Brett. First of all, we're beyond grateful and blessed to have everyone's presence here. This is so exciting. I have goosebumps being up here in front of so many amazing leaders. Thank you again, Toddy and Lynn, and for everyone's attendance. I've had the blessing and the honor of working with Sam Beard for the last 20 years, and one of the founding visions of the Jefferson Awards for Public Service was the idea that one person can make a difference, and that everything starts in our community, and the idea of neighbors helping neighbors, and how can I improve my neighbor's lot. And so when I look out and I think about what we're creating here, and then in 20 other communities around the country this year, it's the power of leaders who have a shared vision. They understand the power of collaboration, and also that I believe that a movement should start at one heart at a time. And then as leaders, we synergize with one another and go out and spread that word. So you'll see in your sheets today that we're really just asking for 3 ways or 4 ways that you can help. Please help us extend our reach. And what that looks like is reaching out to your friends, 10 friends, contacting them, sharing the materials with them that we have on this amazing and important movement. Because when you think about what we're focused on, the future of the world are the kids of today. And there's no greater investment that we can make than to invest in those children and their caregivers and everyone that's in the care continuum, so that we make sure the future is bright and that everyone has the opportunity to have education achievement, health and social skills, and ultimately employment achievement. And we will reverse poverty and heal the world that way. In addition to helping us extend our reach, help us amplify the message. So will you be listed as a champion when you sign up? Will you help us with social media for likes, shares, posts, and follow us? That's a way that we can all amplify the message and amplify one another. And then lastly, would you help us open new doors? So like-minded organizations locally and nationally, we're starting this as a grassroots build in 20 communities, and ultimately we want to bring this to the president to be Sam's 9th U.S. presidential program. So you're co-creators and co-signatories of something that will impact not only the country, but the world. So help us open new doors for like-minded organizations that you know, for traditional media sources. And then if you can help us financially, of course, we would be beyond honored for your support. But I just want to say a special thank you again on behalf of the entire GIFT board for your presence here today, for your leadership, and for your commitment. And we love you and appreciate you. And we're starting a movement right now, one heart at a time. Bless you. Bill.
Well, can everybody hear me? Good. I am not The Rock, and I am not Batista, but pretty darn close. But as Brett mentioned, I'm one of the newer members of the team, and I'm so grateful to my long-term friend, business partner, mentor, Brett, for bringing me on. A couple of things that Brett didn't mention that I do want to mention. Obviously, we talked about my Olympic success as a 3-time Olympian, Olympic silver medalist, first U.S. bobsled team to win an Olympic medal in 46 years. I've been fairly successful throughout my career with business and too. Not only have I worked with a lot of nonprofits, I'm now a managing partner in a very successful technology company. But the reason I'm going to tell you this story is that it has to do with exactly what we're talking about right now. 37 years ago, as a young little punk growing up in Salt Lake City, I was a kid who was in lots of trouble. On and off the streets, 17 foster homes. My mom was a drug addict, prostitute, ate out of garbage cans as a youth. So I was that prototypical kid that we're literally talking about right now. And 37 years ago, and I'll probably get emotional about this, 37 years ago, I knew I wanted something better for myself. And I reached out to people who were willing to invest in me. Little kid with a big old afro, troublemaker. And because of their investment, now 37 years later, look at what they've created. And so the reason I tell you this is that if we don't invest in our children, we're failing to invest in our future. Let's take a moment to think about what are some of the issues that we currently have going on today. Why are our prisons getting bigger and more filled up? Why is crime going up significantly? Why are we having all these problems? It's because we're failing to put more than $500 investing in our kids. And that's all it needs. We're talking about impacting our children from 0 to 5 years. That's very, very minimal when you think about it. And so, just like, Brett mentioned, one of the most successful things I've ever been a part of is the Olympic movement. And every Olympics, other than one that got boycotted, has been some of the most successful events in our history. And you know how that happens? It happens through, again, the power of collaboration. People from all different worlds and regions of the world coming together for one cause, and that's to create unity. For those of you who don't know, there's 5 Olympic rings and have 5 different colors, and those 5 different colors represent at least one color of every flag in the world. And the rings represent the unity of how the world should come together and unite together. So what we're doing here with Give Connect is trying to create another movement like that. We are trying to change the face of our future. And we have an opportunity to do that with very little investment, whether that's financial, whether it's time, sweat equity, whatever you want to call it. We could literally change the face of what the rest of our future can look like. Years ago, I came up with a quote. I did a presentation at a school of business back in Utah called Leadership and Legacy, and Brett was there with me. And I sat there before I did the event. I did a whole bunch of research and was like, okay, why do we fail? Why do we have so many people fail at what they want to do? We have lots of people talking about it. We're talking about something right now. But if this failed, why would it fail? It's because we failed to take action. There's 7.2 billion people on this planet. And I did some research that showed that only 2% of those people ever accomplish their dreams and goals. That leaves a 98% that don't ever achieve what they want to do. And I tested it out. I had a bunch of friends like, hey, do you ever have any really cool ideas? Oh man, I've got the greatest idea. It's so cool. It's going to change this. It's all. And I'm like, cool, tell me what it is. No, you'll think it's dumb. No, seriously, like, tell me what's your idea? No, you'll think it's dumb. So like, it just proved to me that those people were failing to take action just because they thought it was a dumb idea, right? But if we can change that, even 1%, 7.2 billion people, 1% of that, it's a huge number. So that's why we're asking you here today is be those group of people, be those champions, be those ambassadors that creates this massive movement to change our future. And then maybe we can continue to have a whole bunch of little Afro-looking little kids like me that grow up and do something impactful with their life and help continue to change the world. So I want to invite you, and I'm thankful to the team, I'm thankful to the board and for everyone here that you don't have to do a lot right now. All you got to do is take some action. And I'll leave you with the quote that came from that presentation, and hopefully you guys carry this with you. But the quote goes like this: dreams are only dreams until we take the actions to ignite them. So let's ignite this and change the face of our future.
Is this thing on? So we're gonna. We've got a few other people that were set to speak, and we know that some people had some music that they want to play. And I'm gonna ask. I want to make sure I say her name correctly before we have our other speakers. Maria Costellas. I got it. Woohoo! So Maria's going to play us a little flute song really quick, and let's give her a big round of applause.
Wow, some magic words have been spoken. And I think some of the most important, I don't know who said it first, call to action. Wow, this is like a no-brainer for me because I just started an international children's book tour. And so that's why I'm here too. So call to action. So this music I'm going to play, and I've played music all over the world, intentionally, is to build that energy, spark it, right? Get the flame going for a call to action, because anyone who's a book author, here's my commitment. Every time I do an event, I'm mentioning it, 0 to 5. I'll get more materials from you, okay? That's going to be all over. Oh. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Yes, oh, yeah, perfect. Wait, yeah, good photo op. Oh, wow. And, you know, I have chills about this because the people that are here are so capable of call to action. I mean, just thinking about it. When I'm playing this music, let your mind dream about something that maybe you're going to step into an arena that you have wanted to, but now that you've heard about this 0 to 5 movement, you're going to do it. Take that extra step. Okay, call to action. I invite you to close your eyes if you want, or visualize with your eyes open. What are you going to do? What is your call to action? Thank you. Call to action. Thanks. It was fun. I love it.
Let's give her one more round of applause. That was pretty amazing. So I'm going to invite people to talk. We've talked to a few people about coming up and speaking, and some people that just wanted to wait and talk a little bit later. But Robert Slaughter, are you here? Still here somewhere, sir? Let's welcome to the microphone Mr. Robert Slaughter.
Well, I knew when I introduced Sam to Toddy, Toddy can really draw up a crowd. And she is amazing what she can do. And we've all heard that all great things have small beginnings. Well, when you look around you and you look at all the great people that are all pulling together their energy for something that is so important for humanity, I think we should give one big round of applause for all the great people that are here, and especially Toddy. So I'm very, very excited about it, and I strongly believe there's reasons for everything in this world. There's nothing by chance in this world. You're here for a reason. You're here for a purpose. Whether you get it or not, that's another issue. Some people go their entire life and they never get it. And yet some people, like, they're just going through life and it's just, you're just amazed at all the incredible things that take place. And so I'm very, very excited. I've seen the impact that adults can have on children. Fortunately, let's hope that the children are being influenced by amazing people that have an elevated consciousness, because you're planting a seed. A while back ago, I was traveling to India, and I was very much involved with water, because water is a huge issue in India. And as if fate would have it, and as the universe would have it, of all the people to drop in front of me out of millions of people in the world was the granddaughter of Gandhi. So that was a landmark event in my life, and here I was leaving for India, and I'm thinking, oh, did she drop in front of me for a reason, or what? And so it happens that I arrived in India and all these doors opened for me. And I had not mentioned, I didn't use the fact that I had met Gandhi. However, one of my most important meetings, the conversation went in such a direction that the person says, well, you know what? Gandhi was one of our few members that he insisted on joining what it was that we were about. And so each and every one of us are here to join in, and just as the paperwork was passed around to everyone, don't hesitate to take that and fill it out and be a part of this and be a member of what we're trying to do in the lives of young children. And I don't know about you, but I cannot take that lightly. So I want to thank all of you for being here and supporting the cause and supporting our beautiful friend Toddy Blackstone and Sam here, who just gets out of a plane and just causes all kinds of activities. And he gets people busy and gets people making something important out of their lives. I always say we're on this earth for a minute and a half. And what we do during that minute and a half can determine whether our lives had any value at all. Did we just live and have a good time and that was it? Or did we really have impact with our being on this earth? And each and every one of us here can have impact. So don't take that lightly. Thank you so much for having a moment listening to what I have to say. And thank you all again for being here. Bye now.
Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you. Thanks, Robert. Does anybody have any questions so far? We wanted to make sure we had time to... Yes, go ahead, Joyce.
I'd like you to paint a really clear... I'd really like you to paint a clear picture of if we all left here and did what you're wanting us to do, what would be the result of that? I have... Thank you. I have questions about... if all of us step forward and our actions affect money happening for more education for children, where does that money come from? I guess I have some reservations about another government department that's going to be in running this. I have some reservations about that. So I want to know more about, we leave here, your end result goal, what does that look like? And how, I want to know the process and the how. How does it happen? Who is impacting the classrooms? How does the funding or the protocols that we're developing, how does that get implemented and by whom? And who's holding the purse strings?
Sure, and that's basically, if you, there's different ways to look at that. We're going into each community to find the absolute best programs that exist and work as a partnership with them and help them amplify the money that they already use. So the government, if it sounds like your question is the government going to run this? No, we want it to be a program of the President of the United States to endorse what we're doing to help amplify funding, which Sam can speak to this way better than I can, but the way that the funds come from the government will be channeled into the communities for those programs that already exist, to amplify those programs to get kids more learning or education ready prior to them actually going to school. That's like the first thing that we really want to accomplish. After that, the funding would be, how do we get more money to the school systems when these kids are learning ready, so that we're putting in the appropriate amount of funds so that we can grow our kids dramatically once they actually are in school. Does that make sense? So that's kind of a high level overview, and maybe Sam can clear that up even better than I can.
Well, first I'll tell you, it's a great question. And all I want to say is half of what we want to do has nothing to do with government whatsoever. It's what a mother, father, or caretaker does directly with the children. Because to make 0 to 5 work, it needs to be a trusted adult. And the mother or the father or the caregiver holding the baby in their arms need to speak to them, sing to them, read to them. And the baby wants to be loved and lovable. So if the mother, father, or the caretaker trusted is reading, the baby says reading is fun, it's important. If the mother and father are talking to the baby all the time. My father didn't do much with us. He's a very nice man, but he never did much with us kids. So when I was with my kids, I did a lot, and then I did a lot wrong. So a lot of it is just to train mothers, fathers, and all the caregivers exactly in those early years. In fact, starts right in the womb. In the womb, if you play music and talk to the baby, that all makes a difference. So now here's what I did wrong. I would talk to all the stuff with my kids. And then dinner time, I was so excited about Disney. I would sit them in front of the TV to watch Disney while I was cooking, and then we'd eat, they'd come and eat. But the point is, they should be right there while I'm cooking. And you say, now I'm going to the refrigerator. Oh my gosh, I dropped an egg. What a mess. I'm going to pick up the egg. Talk to them all the time. Before you go to bed, talk to them. When they get up, talk to them. So a lot of this is just significant ways, which is why so many of you as activists and people reaching out, we need to reach to mothers, fathers, and show them exactly what to do. The next thing is serve and return. I never did that. I was always serving. I was rolling on the floor, I was laughing, I was giggling, I was doing everything. And I just, energy, here I come, here I come. And serve and return is the brand new baby, you go like this, and then you stop. The baby wants to be loved, so the baby gets the idea to be loved, I'm going to copy what you did. So that's serve and return. And that's building the prefrontal cortex of the baby. That's executive function. It's a huge power. Then at early years, go goo, goo, goo. Don't go goo, goo, goo forever. Go goo, goo and stop. And then the baby does goo, goo. So all I want to say is that so much, it happens right in the home and with a trusted person. Now, I want to introduce Rupert Hinsick. Where's Rupert? If we talk about amazing global directors of Gift Connect, Rupert is extraordinary. And Rupert and I are 21 years old, but we've known each other for 75 years because we were in elementary school together. And Rupert went on, and he's just been extraordinary. The list of what he does is longer than any arm I have. He's a producer, he is a director, he is a songwriter, he's a script writer. He was Alan King's partner. Remember the comedian? That was Rupert doing all that stuff. And then if you list all the stars that were in Rupert's movie, it's Burt Lancaster and a whole other list of famous people. Top line stars in Rupert's stuff, nonstop. Now then, Last Dragon?
Sure.
I finally got the title right. Last Dragon, Rupert in 1986 created a movie about black communities, a kid being beat up and bullied in Harlem by the gangs. And the end of the movie was, inside everybody is a secret power. And at the end of the movie, the young black boy outmasters the gang. That movie today, if Rupert goes into prisons, which he does, and they start off, they say, "Hey, Whitey, what the fuck are you doing here? And who are you?" And he says, "Have you ever heard of Last Dragon?" They say, "Last Dragon." They all know about it. It's unbelievable, Rupert's creativity. And so how, I need a hug.
Let me give you an example of how things go amazingly. This young man here, being African American, it was easy for me to say, "Hey, who's the meanest of us all?" He said, "Why are you saying that?" I said, "Because I did the last." You did the last Dragon. Do you like the movie?
Name a movie. There are very few movies have a super power 40 years later.
It has a lot of power.
Unbelievable. So here's the other benefit, is I'm born out of my left brain, and Rupert comes up and says, "Excuse me, if you want to connect with an audience, how about your heart?" And I say, no, I'm in my left brain. And he says, "Well, you're really stinking at communicating." So now, thanks to Rupert, I'm getting better.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here, always honored to be with Sam. I have stories from grammar school you wouldn't want to hear. But anyway, he's an incredible force, and I've been with him about 12 or 13 years, the Jefferson Awards, and now Connect Universe. And it's a joy. And thank you for being here, and support Sam's message. And the one thing I didn't hear from either of you is, what can you do to learn more? And I'll say, for example, this is not self-touting, but I did a video about this, and it's on connectuniverse.org, including another bunch of interviews. But you can get more information from that, and we'll do more and more videos, because that's the way to communicate. Thank you very much for your time.
Take more questions, then we'll talk this up. I want to make sure the answer. Good.
Joyce, does that help answer your question? Some. Do you have something else? You have a question, okay.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ruth Brody Sharon, and since I first heard Sam, I immediately connected with Sam because my father, named Sam, was an educator and was eager to do things out of the box, to work with children, to take them to their highest potential, even when the schools didn't give them that possibility. So I've been racking my brain since I met you, Sam, and asking myself, how do we get to the people who take care of the 0 to 5-year-olds when they're not in an institution or in a situation that is controlled? And I've been wondering, I mean, here are some of the ideas that I came up with that I discussed with Toddy and with other friends who we all want to do something about it, is what about creating babysitting clubs for siblings of these little children to teach them how to work with their younger siblings? What about reaching out to the Girl Scouts and having them learn about these techniques, and as part of earning a badge of working with a child that's under 5? What about, and as I was sitting here today, I had another idea. What about reaching out to the organizations that, excuse me, train nannies? The nannies that I see walking all the time, talking on their phones, and don't relate to the children and don't tell them what they see in front of them in nature. How do we get to the people
The answer is, Ruth, thank you. And Ruth is always exceptional. And the point is, all of the above we're going to try to do. And all the volunteer groups that can do it. Now then, Toddy's niece is a teacher up near Sacramento, and she teaches older children. So right away, we're going to work with teachers, and I'm already doing it, which will impact 10 million lives in Africa, where you teach older members of a family who have young siblings. to go out of the schools and go home and explain about 0 to 5 to the mothers, fathers, and to the younger children. So all these things you're talking about, the answer is yes, yes, and yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, if you could see the chart of everybody that we have isolated or envisioned that could be of a positive benefit, it's enormous. And right, we have a small but mighty team that is working on all kinds of things exactly like that. How to activate those types of organizations. And I see another question back here, Susan.
Hi, my name is Susan, and I was a teacher for 20 years. And I'm so excited, Sam, about what you're doing, because I dreamed about doing something like this years ago. But my question is that some of us I know want to get started right away helping you. And I believe we have some people here in Los Angeles. I'm sorry, I missed the beginning part because I was outside collecting money from you all. So could you please introduce the people here from the Los Angeles area who we can get in touch with?
Well, let me tell you, Susan, you're one of my favorite people. Because when I met you, you made me cry with joy that basically, without knowing it, I helped save your life. And what an amazing life you have had and are going to have because of the idea of 0 to 5. So give Susan a huge round of applause, please. Now, just to talk about how your ideas are important. 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, we had a Zoom, and you said we've got to focus on people in the Los Angeles area. Listen to this now, Susan. I'm talking to you. Susan, 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago on a Zoom, you said we've got to really focus on the organizations that are working here in the Los Angeles area with 0 to 5. So let's talk about the power of your idea. We already have, we have Diana, we have Howie. Yesterday we picked up 4 or 5 more people. Our whole visit here has been to pick up people who would do exactly your idea. And one of the ladies who was supposed to be here was also on that Zoom, and this is just unbelievable. Crystal Davis Wells is an African-American 80-year-old singer and musician who's connected to African-American churches all across the United States, 30 to 40 of them in the greater Los Angeles area. She's going to go and sing there and put all of their electronic streaming capacity. And she has African-American clergies and ministers all across the country. And that was your idea. How about that? That's what we're doing.
I so appreciate it, Sam. But I have to say that was not my idea. But I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm taking it. It's my idea. Thank you, Sam.
All right, now, why don't we, I'm going to stop talking and you go back and say whatever you can say, but I'm going to start collecting the piece of paper we want you to sign. If you want to be a champion, the question is, do you want to be part of a global movement to spend 10 hours and talk to 10 people? It's just a simple beginning. If you want to be an ambassador, do slightly more. And on those sheets, we want you to sign it so we can use your name, and then make sure you have your email address and cell phone on there. So while we're all talking, if you haven't filled out those forms, fill them out now. Is that good, Brett?
Sure.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
So now I normally do all my best when I'm washing dishes out back, or just being helpful, or crawling around on my hands and knees trying to get as muddy as possible.
As muddy as possible?
Muddy as possible.
Oh, muddy. It sounded like you said get as muddy.
Muddy, money, same thing. It's all.
I do that too, but muddy.
Freudian slip, perhaps?
No, your ears are.
Yes.
If you could actually see the way that we have this devised, it's all based off previous success models from the other programs that Sam's created. And
it's clear we don't have pens.
Oh, where did they go? We actually brought a box of pens with us and everything.
Sand and pens.
Sorry, if you could let each other borrow pens, that would be amazing. But we have a very intricate system from steering committee through ambassador through local champions, and also working how we're going to target the legislature, the House, the Senate. It's a top-down, bottom-up approach that has been very successful with 6 other initiatives. So we're quite confident we can make it happen. And based on Sam's success record, I think we're going to make it happen. And our goal is, by the end of the year, if at all possible. So it all has to start somewhere, right? It all has to start somewhere. So we have some other speakers. I think Diana's going to come up and give us a few words of wisdom here. So let's welcome to the microphone Diana Bench.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name's Diana Bench, and I am now helping Toddy here with LA IONS, and so I'm so excited for you all to be here. And now as an ambassador to 0 to 5, I have nieces, and from 5 down. And when I saw what they watch on YouTube and just what is out there, I just realized what the need is for us to create content that actually has meaning and purpose for our children to watch. And so I'm so excited to be here. And I have assisted thought leaders, Hay House authors, for the last 15 years now. So I'm committed. I have managed promotion teams all around the world. So I want to get in touch with all of them to let them know about this, because how important it is. And, even as something as simple as us putting it on Facebook, because we're really quick to complain about things and say bad things, but what about spreading some positive messages? So anything that we can do to help make this go viral would be amazing. So, as much as you can, even on your own, in your own way, in Facebook or whatever it is, to just be talking about this and letting people know, because as soon as anyone hears it, just like many of you, when you heard it for the first time, you just can't believe it. And so, we all can make a difference. And so I'm here to really help do that. And I am in the LA area, so I'll give you my contact information, and we can all keep together, one as IONS and 0 to 5. So I'm really excited to work with all of you. So thank you.
One thing you'll notice too is that music is a through line for us and our organization and the things we're trying to accomplish. And one of the things we have in progress that's in the early stages, we're trying to create a song that will be something like what happened with We Are the World, right? And we have some quite hefty musical talent getting on board with that. Of course, we have an amazing career Hollywood professional working with us as well. So I have another person who wants to share a song with us, and she just spoke a minute ago. I was making sure I say her name. Ruth Brady Sharon. Brody? Brody.
Greetings, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. Whenever Toddy calls, I come. And as a matter of fact, Toddy is responsible for the name and the chorus of this song, which is called We Are All Originals. And I'm going to play it for you, but in a moment. But first, we're going to learn the chorus together. And it fits in perfectly with the theme of 0 to 5, because we consider every child an original, every child with the potential to find his or her own calling. And that's what the song is about. And when you listen to the description of all the kinds of people there are in the world, see if you can identify which one you are, or how many of those qualities you have. So this is the way the chorus goes. We are all originals, no two of us the same. We are individuals, and we each have a name. We cannot be mass-produced, and there's no perfect clone. We are all one of a kind. Our calling is our own. Sing it with me. We are all originals, no two of us the same. We are individuals, and we each have a name. We cannot be mass produced, and there's no perfect clone. We are all one of a kind. Our calling is our own. Okay.
It describes my whimsical nature.
I am so sorry. We are.
Wrong song.
Sorry.
We got the two hard ones.
Okay, here we go.
Somebody pulled the plug.
Wrong song, Brett.
Here we go.
People of the rainbow, people who make love grow, people of this earthly plane. Fragments of creation, of every race and nation, but our hearts all beat the same. We are idiosyncratic, steady and erratic, powerful and also meek. Religious, metaphysic, or strictly scientific, each one of us unique. We are all originals, no two of us the same. We are individuals and we each have a name. We cannot be mass produced and there's no perfect clone. We are each one of a kind, our calling is our own. We are quiet and loquacious, miserly and gracious, playful and straight-laced, skeptics and believers, lazy and achievers, honest and two-faced. We're ebullient and stoic, circus clowns and poets, indeed a complex lot. Humble, also haughty, well-behaved and naughty. What you see is what we got. We are all originals, no two of us the same. We are individuals and we each have a name. We cannot be mass produced and there's no perfect clone. We are each one of a kind, our calling is our own. We are profligate and thrifty, innocent and guilty, polished and uncouth, modern and old-fashioned, indifferent and impassioned. We seek eternal youth. We love Shakespeare and our Dante, Mozart and Beyonce, and everything in between. Peaceful and aggressive, generous, possessive. Diversity is our theme. We are all originals, no two of us the same. We are individuals and we each have a name. We cannot be mass produced and there's no perfect clone. We are each one of a kind. Our calling is
So there'll be quiz at the end of the night to make sure you remember the chorus. So we'll be doing this again. So that was pretty awesome. Let's give her one more big round of applause. Thank you, Ruth. That was awesome.
And thanks to Toddy for giving me the name of the song.
So I'm going to ask one last speaker to come up. We've got a couple other presentations and performances, but kind of our last speaker, Howie Leong and Yoon Trend. Did I say that correct, Howie? They've got a, they're going to say a few words. So let's give them a big round of applause. They come to the microphone. If you've completed your sheet, please pass them this way to the end of the row. Sandham's going to pick them all up. I know people are holding on to them, trying to get them turned in. Thank you. Here you go, gentlemen.
Thank you, Brett. It's really nice to be here with you all. My name is Howie, and I don't have literally the breadth of experience that you all have here. It's just very impressive to be a part of this. I started my spiritual journey about 4 years ago. Before that, I was just minding my own business, staying in my own lane, you know, making some money as a construction and real estate developer. And I came across some teachings of Sadhguru and started following him intently. Yeah, there you go. And actually went to India a couple of times until about a year ago. I got turned on to the teachings of Master Shah. So I've been following him for about a year now, learning about soul healing my own soul, and learning how to heal other people's souls. And it's just one thing after another. It's just an amazing journey. And somehow I got turned on to Dr. Toddy. They introduced me to her, and I'm just doing whatever I can to just be an unconditional universal servant. That's the best way to put it. And I'm just so proud to be helping her, and she introduced me to Sam Beard, so I guess I'm just going to be serving him as well and his amazing cause. When I heard about what he was doing, immediately I thought of the Love, Peace, Harmony Foundation. That's something that Master Shah has put together. It's a whole global organization, hundreds, probably more than 1,000 people who are chanting Love, Peace, Harmony, this soul healing mantra. It's literally the divine soul song. So I thought immediately of Yoon, who is the LA ambassador, one of the LA ambassadors, and immediately just had him invite him here. We set up a room in the back in Toddy's living room with these calligraphies, and I'll let him explain a little bit more. Thanks.
Hi, nice to meet everyone. I'm Yoon, and I just want to thank Howie for inviting me.
Closer to the mic.
Okay. Is it off?
No, he just needs to get closer.
Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. But hi, I'm Yoon Tran, and I just want to thank Howie for inviting me here, and I'm really grateful to be here to learn about this new organization. I feel like it lines up with what we're trying to do at Love, Peace, Harmony. As you know, I'm part of an ambassador. I gotta get closer. Not used to this, so apologies. Thanks. So yeah, I think it perfectly lines up with what we're trying to do with Love, Peace, Harmony, is to bring this song of love, peace, harmony to the world, to allow us to have everyone, especially the kids, to chant it, because we understand that when you chant love, peace, harmony, you're reprogramming your mind. Oftentimes we know that society has given us negative messages, right? And it goes down like it ties into our heart and our experiences and how we think. And when we grow up and as we get older, those memories, those messages stays with us. So what Love, Peace, Harmony is trying to do is to really unwind all those information and bring back what it means to be in love and peace and in harmony for ourselves and with how we interface with society. So yeah, that's a little bit Love, Peace, Harmony, and I'd love to invite everyone to go check out the Love, Peace, Harmony calligraphy. It has a lot of positive energy. You can actually tune into it, connect to the calligraphy. So yeah. Thanks.
So just a couple things left. Laurel Erica is going to read us a little poem, and then That's what I've heard. Then we have a presentation from Lynn Crandall for Sam Beard. Sam's got a presentation for Toddy, and then we're going to finalize with Yuval Ron, who's got a great message for us. So I'm going to bring up Laurel Erica, please.
I'm all about sound, and that wasn't one of the ones I wanted to be all about. So my work is called Word Magic, wordplay that unravels mass hypnosis and elevates the frequency of consciousness. And my intention is to create a global movement for linguistic improvement, because the source of all the pollution in the world is pollution of the global sea, S-E-E, of consciousness. So this is an anthem called Speaking Beauty. We are godlings on this planet, here because we all pre-planned it. Ghastly, ghostly shadows, damn it. Now's our chance to Superman it. Lift your voices, re-enchant it. Freedom's codes are all semantic. Though we're small and sometimes frantic, souls are whole and all gigantic. These may be our darkest hours, yet each of us has superpowers. The infinite is infinite, which means we can turn on the light. All life's a dream, and we're the dreamers. Though hate's streaming through the schemers, we're all here as world redeemers, beaming peace, we're love's supremers. So mages, sorceresses, sages, artists of all sorts and ages, share your gifts now, be courageous. Daring actions are contagious. A diamond mind and heart of gold are gifts, the prophecies foretold for those uniting souls on earth by honoring each being's full worth. As we let go of againstness, we step into our immenseness. For the genesis of genius is the light we strike between us. When we share the gifts with which we're blessed to inspire higher consciousness, then we'll gain what we've been dreaming of, the gift of everlasting love. The bliss of everlasting love, the kiss of everlasting love. Thank you.
Is this thing on? Johnny Cash is back in the building. Okay, we now have a presentation for Sam from Miss Lynn Crandall. She's one of the founding ambassadors. She helped us put together. Oh, she didn't help us. She did all the work. Let's be honest. Her and her team did just a tremendous amount of work arranging for a tour of a really cutting-edge early childhood development center, having an event at her home, making some incredible introductions in the education.
I got it.
You got it all. Okay, I'll just be here to support.
Well, I think I can. All right, whatever. I'll take all the help I can get.
Yes, I understand. Thank you so much. And I'm just feeling blessed to be the closing act on this amazing gathering every one of the presentations was so heartfelt and aimed at the prize we all have our eyes on. And if we just keep our eyes on that prize, it doesn't matter what direction we come to, it will converge on the prize of the democracy that we're supposed to be and still struggling to get. And that said, I would like to show how this event today is a closure of 3 days of events with this man, beginning with our first meeting, which brought these people together at the Growing Place School in Santa Monica, where they accept children at the age of 4 months. And they keep them through 8 years, but it definitely covers the 0 to 5. And they use existing resources as much as possible. No expensive toys and great big, it's things that the children find when walking in the woods, and they bring sticks and leaves back and turn them into windmills and amazing things with their own creativity and the similar collaboration that we have here. And they even have talking chairs where 2 kids who maybe each one thought his idea or her idea was the best, and they couldn't come to a conclusion. The teacher sits down with both of them and helps guide them into sharing and leveraging their existing resources. So that was day 1. Day 2 was at Metro Station, where Crystal sang and brought complete strangers walking through Metro Station, singing and dancing with us about collaborating and love, even though one of them was crying because it was her first time on the Metro, not able to use a car in the current situations. And she saw so much poverty and pain that she was crying. And she was a musician and wanted to talk about how music could bring us together. So I gave her my card, Sam, and that's another one you brought together. And that said, I want to show how all the people here and the others are making this presentation to the global investment for our future together gift global, created by Sam. I'm not going to read the whole documentation here, but it tells everything that you have seen and done today. And the people who were there helping organize it have signed their name with the Institute for Genetic Medicine at USC and our nonprofit Art Angels. And I hope we'll all see you, and there's so many opportunities just for those 3 events that we had today here and the other 2 that we can work together. So anybody who wants to work together in LA with Crystal or me or each other, just let us know. Thank you, Sam. Keep it, put it on your wall.
Now we need Toddy to come up. Toddy,
Very rarely do I do as I'm told. But by this one.
Now come over here. Now, what I want to say is that there is no way to fundamentally thank Lynn and no way to thank Toddy. So I have a whimsical nature, and I went out and I spent millions of dollars and a couple of hundred hours to figure out what I could do from the bottom of my heart to thank Toddy. And open it up, and then you open that up, and here's a priceless thing coming out.
I love him.
Now,
I
hold
love
on.
it.
Here we have it, and it is known as a soul shamala. I think it's all supposed to be like a marshmallow, but made into a very famous thing. And we have a unique subscription in here. It explains what each of these characters is. And this character is Toddy. And then what it says, when you open it up, it says, Toddy is one of the most amazing schmallow marshmallows or whatever it is. And it says, meet Toddy. She's energy, passion, heart, love, a supreme world gift connector. And that came right from the owner of the company.
Holy moly, wowee. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Yes, I love it. I can't pronounce it, but I love it. And I am one. Thank you, thank you. This is so amazing. And what I love, because I just see this one, for me, as not a candle of hope, but this huge flame that everybody I've talked to, so many lives have already been changed, where we were so just scared of the direction our world was going and what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. And then I listened to this amazing show the other day where a Russian soldier was captured on the edge of Ukraine, some town. He was pulled into the middle of town. There's tons of people there, and they're all so hate-filled and ready to destroy the guy. And this old lady comes in and cuts through the crowd and gives him a bowl of soup because he hasn't had anything to eat for a lot of hours. And then another old lady cuts through and she brings him, and you may have heard this story, I guess a lot of people have, she brings him a cell phone and says, I want you to call home. You tell your mother, your family, you're fine, you're still alive, you're being taken care of. And the Russian soldier stands there crying in front of those hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that, I mean, they're enemies, they're whatever. And I sat there like a damn fool at my computer at 7 in the morning listening to this. I was sobbing like a dumb fool because I thought, you know, this may be like the second coming that's calling us all to love each other, to not just have our own religion and our own organization and all that, but to hold hands, to cooperate, to do exactly what Lynn, Lynn, I did want you to read that whole thing to us because I think it's just...
No, we can't. Ruth has something to say.
Got to be wonderful. I'll be quiet in just a second because I'm just so excited with the opportunity we have of working together. I have this boss. She's my CEO director of Unity and Diversity World Council. We're building a seminary, and it has to do with Mormons and Catholics and everybody, Buddhists, Muslims, and we've got fabulous leaders of all those churches, and this seminary will teach us all how to learn from each other, how to work together, how to build a world where all of our children belong to all of us. We're all responsible for what's going on and for what we have to give. And when we give it together, like Jane Goodall says, together we can change the world for good. And that's what I'm so excited about being part of, starting right here this minute. I guess this is me, you know, because it's smiling and it's saying, hooray, we get this amazing opportunity. And it's what you're bringing to us, Sam, and I thank you. I thank you. Oh, boy.
Toddy has been so inspiring. Ruth has 1 minute to say some amazing anything she wants.
Well, I'm new to all of this, and this dropped in as I was listening. First of all, that this is truly a paradigm shift, and it's a paradigm shift to go back to what is the innate intelligence of existence, and our children are our teachers of that. And I was thinking of the biblical statement, and a child shall lead them. A child shall lead them, because we are so caught in our paradigms and what we think we know. And in order to really, really touch a child, you have to go back to the most essential, basic nature, your own music, your own dance, your own love, because that's the only thing that will talk to a child, and that's what teaches them.
Now we have Yuval coming up to give us the finale song. Yuval, you're ready.
Thank you, Bill. I would like to share with you a few words about a project that I started. Many of you know me as a composer for film and TV. I produce albums. I tour around the world. Several years ago, I felt a calling to do more than I already do. And I decided to start a charity foundation called Inspired Sound Initiative. And there's some information here about this educational foundation that brings music, dance, and storytelling to neighborhoods that have no chance to get it. So we go to all the tough neighborhoods that we can reach, including homeless shelters, including orphanage homes. We go and we bring inspiring music and dance to every person in the neighborhood, free of charge. And we raise the money to pay the artist to go for free, so we don't charge the communities get it for free. And that's what we've been doing all the way to Armenia and India and Colorado and New York City, the Bronx, Boston, all over California. And a few weeks ago, one of my board members, Ruth, in our board meeting, she raised her hand and she said, I met a man named Sam Beard who has this initiative about 0 to 5. And she told us about this idea, and our board of directors decided that we want to expand our work to have special program for 0 to 5, and we asked, one of our board members is a Montessori educator, specialized in mindfulness education for preschoolers, and she's now in charge among our board to create the program for 0 to 5, so our foundation will provide this special programming to the children from 0 to 5, and that is the impact. See, something that I never even met Sam until today, and I never heard about the 0 to 5 until 3 weeks ago. But we are already in action. Our foundation, our charity foundation, is already working on implementing, and I have some information about it. You can find some information over there about it. There's a QR code. You can go to our website and find out more about it.
No one should ever brag about themselves, so Yuval is not going to. Yuval is an Oscar-winning musician of a great nature worldwide. And what a privilege we have to have an Oscar-winning musician come here and take this and spread it around the world.
So just in closing, I'd like to share with you a story called The Golden Thread. And this is the first chapter in my book, Divine Attunement. And this story is really about what we are all about, but this is a mystical story. So it's the mystical explanation for why Sam is doing what he's doing, for why I'm doing what I'm doing, why Tadi is doing all what she's doing, and all of us. This is the mystical background. Now, in the mystical Sufi tradition, just in case some of us are not familiar with the terminology of the story, in the Sufi tradition, the lover is the seeker, and the beloved is the source of life. So this is the story about the lover and the beloved. A lover who fell in love with a mysterious beloved. And so the lover went to the house of the beloved up on the hill, and he walked up to the door, a big wooden door of the house of the beloved, and he knocked on the door. And an ancient voice was sounded. "Who is knocking?" "It is me," said the lover. And the door remained locked. And the lover was disappointed and disillusioned and went back to his life and back to his work. And he picked up his wooden little flute and began playing beautiful longing music, expressing his broken heart because the beloved didn't open the door. And the lover, the flutist, played this beautiful music, expressing this longing and pain of love. And many people came from all over and admired the flutist, admired and enjoyed the beautiful music. And then the lover thought, maybe it is time to go back to the house on the hill. And so he went up the hill to the house of the beloved and knocked on the door. "Who is knocking?" sounded an ancient voice. "It is me," said the lover. And the door remained locked. And now the lover was so broken. He was so broken that he had no energy. He had no energy even to make music. He had no energy to even make sad music, longing music. He had nothing he could express. He was so broken. And when he took his flute to his lips, there was no sound coming. And then he just breathed through the flute. He could just breathe through it. And a sound came, a ghostly sound. A sound that he never ever heard before came through this flute. And it was so beautiful that he tried again just to breathe through the flute. Not to do anything, but just to breathe. And a ghostly sound came again. It was so beautiful. He never heard a flute play so beautiful sound. And this encouraged him to play again with no effort at all. And he felt as if it was a golden thread coming from above him. It wasn't him playing the flute. It was a golden thread, an energy that came through his crown chakra and into the flute and made this beautiful sound. And this experience encouraged him to start doing things in the world for other people. Suddenly, his aim in life was to make other people happy. Until then, all his life, everything he did was to make himself happier. And now, for the first time in his life, he was working to make other people happy. All he cared about is the happiness of others. And he began giving and doing and leaving all kinds of donations for non-profit organizations, one of them called 0 to 5. And then he began doing these things, all this charity work. He began doing it anonymously, in secret. So nobody will know who did it, because it wasn't him who was doing it. It was something working itself through him. So there's no point of credit. There's no credits. It's just a golden thread working through him. And then he thought about the house on the hill, the house of the beloved. And he thought maybe it is time to go up. And he went up the hill. and stood in front of this huge wooden door. And he knocked on the door with a hand light as a feather. "Who is it?" sounded an ancient voice. "It is you." And the door opened wide.
Aloha, everyone. I am Laura Saw, and I am not Tottie's boss. She is the boss lady, no matter what position she is in. Trust me, she is fire. And she inspires me, along with many others, to do the best that we can to be good trouble. I want to just share with you all one of our efforts that we're doing is Peace Sunday's 40th anniversary celebration coming up this June 5th through the 6th. The first Peace Sunday event was held here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. It filled it to 100,000 people coming together. Sacred activists, indigenous elders, musicians of the time, Stevie Wonder, Stevie Nicks, you name it. Powerful house speakers such as Muhammad Ali, Jesse Jackson, Jane Fonda, many, many others, all came together for one common cause, and that was to put a stop to nuclear proliferation as America and Russia were mounting up on nuclear weaponry. And the threat of a nuclear war between America and Iran was highly likely. Because of the collaborative efforts of 100,000 people on that one day, June 6th, it made such an impact that a nuclear freeze was put into effect, and it saved our Earth from further destruction and millions of lives. Here we are, 40 years later, and we are in this same boat, right? And our ship is going in the wrong direction. And so we want to inspire everyone to come and join us. Right now, we're taking registrations for participants. That poem that was spoken here was powerful. I'd love to have it featured. The music of powerful Sufi brother, please, we'd love to have you engaged. And our action, call to action, is really about honoring Peace Sunday's efforts in 1982, also honoring Unity and Diversity's efforts and 57th anniversary. Our late president and founder, Reverend Leland Stewart, was one of the committee members that helped to put on that massive event. So he passed away about 4 years ago. I'm carrying the baton right now, and with that comes a big load. But I'm calling everyone out. It's time to step out of our comfort zones and step up. We can do 1% more action, all of us. I love 0 to 5. I love what you're doing. You're absolutely right. We need to reach the children even before they are born. Their mothers need to be receiving all of that goodness that then is carried forth into the new life that is born. 0 to 5, it's no coincidence that it's this numeric. Our theme for this Peace Sunday is called The Power of One. I'd love to allocate one of the segments, which is 50 minutes, a powerful 50 minutes where you will integrate in what you all are doing and any collaborative partners that are helping you. You can have music, spoken word poetry, opening prayer by an indigenous elder or an interfaith leader, but weave it together, pre-record it, and we will have it in the lineup. It's going to be 4 hours dedicated to the past Peace Sunday 1982, playing a lot of the music and inspirational leaders. We're inviting them to come back and intro in what their contribution was. That's 4 hours. The other 18 hours, we will have a powerful opening ceremony, a powerful closing ceremony. It's a 24-hour, one powerful day. But there's going to be like 18 50-minute segments, and we'd love to allocate one to you because this will be a global live stream, and we are also kicking off World Unity Week and Peace Week in September. Our efforts this particular Peace Sunday, which will be the first in 40 years, is the first drop. We're going to have many more coming up. The next one after June will be September 21st, and we hope, God willing, that we will be live streaming from Auschwitz, Poland. Okay? And we want to bring forth the artists and speakers from Russia and Ukraine and come together globally for another live stream. So our theme is the power of one. One dream, one day, one world, one global family, one thriving planet, one heart. What is your one? Everyone has a one. You have a passion. You have a fire. It's time for us to all come together and make a collaborative impact that will help us to usher in, paradigm shift in our new world, our new humanity that we're all dreaming of. Thank you so much. Thank you. Aloha.
Go ahead, Kurt. Last one,
Hi.
and then we've got food and stuff coming in the next 30 minutes.
Kurt Kruger. I'm with the Peace Lab, and we produce things internationally on global platforms. In June 18th to the 23rd is going to be World Unity Week. And it's a really powerful program with a lot of interesting people that have been dealing with like Humanity Rising, Global Solution Summit, and other groups that are putting together things like this, but they don't know about this. And we get to expose them about Gift Connect. And we are flying right now because of you. Each one of you. And I'm just another you, so thank you very much. God bless.
Thanks, Kurt. Whoa, you okay? All right, that concludes our presentation for today. And Toddy has got lunch coming for everyone, so please don't go. There's snacks and stuff here right now and more food coming out over the next. You heard it from the boss, Toddy. Don't leave. So thank you, everyone. Let's get out and mingle and enjoy some fellowship. Thank you very much. Have a great day.